क्रिकेट प्रोजेक्टर पावर्ड बाय 1x बैट में आपका स्वागत है। आज है 30वां मैच T20 वर्ल्ड कप का, जहां यूएसए और आयरलैंड एक दूसरे के सामने होने वाले हैं। ये मैच फ्लोरिडा हो रहा है। इस पिच के बारे में भी जानेंगे, स्टेडियम के बारे में जानेंगे, और इस मैच पे पूरी चर्चा करने के लिए हमारे साथ यहाँ स्टूडियो में मौजूद हैं दो गेस्ट जिनका मैं स्वागत करना चाहूंगी। सबसे पहले फॉर्मर क्रिकेटर, इंटरनेशनल क्रिकेटर नोएल डेविड हमारे साथ यहाँ जुड़े हैं। नोएल, आपका स्वागत है आज के प्रोग्राम में।
Thank you, Damni. Nice to be back on Sam TV, and that also
You're
with you.
welcome, Noel. You're welcome, Noel. मैं अगला बुलाना चाहती हूँ तन्मय मिश्रा जी को, जो फॉर्मर केन्या इंटरनेशनल क्रिकेटर है। वो भी आज हमारे बीच यहाँ मौजूद है। तन्मय, आपका स्वागत है आज के प्रोग्राम में।
Thank you, Damini. Good evening to everyone.
वेलकम तन्मय। 30th मैच होने वाला है आज यूएसए और आयरलैंड के बीच में। यूएसए बहुत स्ट्रांग टीम अभी तक दिखती नजर आई है। तो मैं पहला सवाल आपसे ही शुरुआत करती हूँ, फिर मैं नोल के पास आती हूँ। तो पहला सवाल ये है कि यूएसए 2 मैचेस जीती थी स्टार्टिंग में, बहुत अच्छी प्रदर्शनी उन्होंने करी इस पूरे T20 वर्ल्ड कप में। आज के मैच में क्या उम्मीद कर सकते हैं यूएसए से?
देखिए, जिस तरीके की उन्होंने क्रिकेट अभी तक खेली है या पिछले 2-3 महीने में जो खेली है, बहुत क्वालिटी और कम्पिटिटिव क्रिकेट है। उनकी स्क्वाड भी अगर देखेंगे तो हम ये नहीं बोल सकते कि ये एक नई एसोसिएट टीम है। इनमें ऐसे प्लेयर्स हैं जिन्होंने पहले कहीं न कहीं क्रिकेट खेला हुआ है। कोरी एंडरसन को देख लीजिए, जिन्होंने न्यूज़ीलैंड के लिए बहुत सारे मैचेस खेले थे। हरमीत सिंह को देख लीजिए, उन्होंने बहुत सारा फर्स्ट क्लास मैचेस इंडिया में खेला था। तो कहीं न कहीं अगर आप देखेंगे, पूरी इनकी टीम जो बनी हुई है, एक्सपीरियंस प्लेयर्स से बनी हुई है। बट दैट बीइंग सेड, आयरलैंड जो कि हमेशा से, जब से मैं खेलते आ रहा हूँ, हमारे बाद जब केन्या उस टाइम पे बड़ी अच्छी होती थी, बट आयरलैंड हैज़ बीन द बेंचमार्क इन एसोसिएट क्रिकेट इफ यू लुक एट इन द लास्ट 10 years. They have been
यस,
exceptional. They have utilized every bit of the facilities that they've been given, and the potential they've always maximized it. So कहीं ना कहीं आई थिंक यूएस को थोड़ा आज केयरफुल रहना पड़ेगा, बिकॉज दिस इज अ हर्टिंग टीम. Luck factor hasn't gone with them. They haven't played their best cricket. So they will be out there looking to, prove a point that they still are the better associate team.
राइट तन्मय। नोएल, चलिए स्टेडियम के बारे में बात करते हैं, क्योंकि स्टेडियम आज अलग है। फ्लोरिडा का स्टेडियम है, सेंट्रल ब्रोवर्ड रीजनल पार्क स्टेडियम है। तो इस स्टेडियम में किस तरीके की पिच है और किस तरीके के चैलेंजेस आपको लगता है कि टीम को आ सकते हैं?
Okay, as far as the news and what I have been asking my friends in US, कि Florida कैसा है, how's the stadium, how's the atmosphere there. So I got the news that it's a good wicket to bat, and overall there's lot of runs being scored there. उनका they have a league system also there. उधर भी their teams have scored well. I think it's a flat wicket for what my friend was saying. It's quite flat, assist the batsmen a lot. So I think, toss also will come into play today, because uh, it is important that if you win the toss, you bat, put up a good total, or, because there's no due factor there. There's never a due factor comes into play in US. So I think it is important for a team to win the toss, put on a good score and put the pressure back. And I don't know about the ground surface, how big is the ground and all, because I've not never played in United States, living Los Angeles. But I think today, as Tanmay has rightly said, US shouldn't take it easy, because uh, Irish team, as far as I know, I watched them at a close quarters in Ireland, whenever they have come and practice in my club during their stint. So I think they are a very hurting team. Correctly, Tanmay has put it. They can hurt anybody when it's their day. And without the Kevin brothers, I think they are struggling a bit. But Kevin O'Brien's, both the brothers. So I think let's wait and watch how this match will turn into.
Right, Noel. Tanmay, let's talk about the highest run scorers of both the teams. What do you think about US? Let's talk about US team first, and then let's move towards Ireland. So when we talk about USA players, what do you think about them?
I think they are a much settled side. And, one thing we've always said about T20 cricket, it's about momentum. They have just beaten, I've said it time and time again, that before coming to the World Cup, US beat Bangladesh. Their batters have had a good feel. They're coming with very good confidence. they brought that confidence into play in the World Cup. We saw Monang Patel getting that vital half century against Pakistan. We've seen, one of their standing captains in the last game where he played a heroic knock against Canada, where he got like 90 or 80 odd or 40 balls.
Aaron Jones.
We've yeah, we've seen that there have been contributions from everywhere. They have a settled batting lineup, and they are going into this thing. And just to add to what David Bhai said, this ground is small. We've seen India play, I think, a couple of games against West Indies not so long ago, and there were 200 runs scored easily and almost chased. I remember. And the ground, if you look at it, the ground size, it's small. So hitting the ball far, it's not that hard. So hopefully we'll see a good game of cricket. And coming to Ireland, um, like David Bhai said, ever since the Kevin brothers have gone, they've sort of missed that spark in the middle order. I genuinely believe even Paul Sterling, one of their go-to batters, and he's been playing for more than 15, 16 years. I've played with him, one of
Yeah,
dynamic
yeah.
opening players. He's had a lean patch. It's a bit surprising because he's one of them who gives them flying start. There's Bal Balbirnie or someone like that, who's one of their main middle order run getters, who's been doing fantastically well. They haven't clicked. So it's one team that has got all the momentum versus the other team, but the other team is an associate favorite. They played some of the most consistent cricket. So I wouldn't be taking them too lightly, and there's a lot at stake for USA today. If they beat Ireland, uh, they will make huge statement for USA cricket for the next 10, 15 years. This is going to open up a lot of gates. This could be the perfect marketing or advertisement that, you might get the local Americans to like this sport. So it's just not about 2 points for them. It's about playing for their future. So yeah, it's going to be an exciting game. But the weather, we've not spoken about it. It's been raining heavily there. I don't know if you've been covering it. Uh, I don't want to jinx it, but we've got to watch out for the weather over there.
यस तन्मय, टोटली ये इशू क्रिएट कर सकता है वेदर। नोएल, अगर 5 टीमों की बात करें जो क्वालिफाई कर गई हैं सुपर 8 में, उनके बारे में आप क्या कहना चाहेंगे? लाइक ऑस्ट्रेलिया, साउथ अफ्रीका, इंडिया, वेस्ट इंडीज एंड अफगानिस्तान। सो अभी आज कोई चांस लगता है आपको यूएसए और आयरलैंड की कि ये भी शायद कुछ इम्पैक्ट बना सकते हैं टॉप 8 पे?
देखिए, if US qualifies, as my friend said, Tanmay, it will create a huge impact for the cricket for 10, 15 years, what he's saying. And absolutely, why? Because a lot of people will also flock into US to migrate there and start playing cricket, because they know it is an opening gate where they can enter and start their career oriented. And I feel that it's very important today's game that they qualify. If the match happens, they should beat Ireland and get into the Super 8, because once they get into the Super 8, then it becomes a testing point for the US team, because they're not going to meet ordinary like Canada or Netherlands, or they are going to meet Australia. They will meet Afghanistan. They will meet other superior teams there. So they will learn a lot. Experience from what they have will double it up for in their career, and I think that is important. Today's game will feature it out. But even if they don't, a match doesn't happen, yet they will qualify with that 1 point. and and why I'm laughing is because it's so sad to see Pakistan going out without this thing. That feels that is one thing which they must be praying that the match should happen today.
I just want to add something to that point, Damini, if I can. I'm going to be sort of advocating this point throughout, that this idea of rains happening and spoiling the sport. I think Sri Lanka hasn't. I think Sri Lanka's match was washed out. I think England's match was washed out. These things shouldn't happen in an ICC tournament. The ICC has got to make sure that whenever they hold, this is a world tournament. This is just not a side tournament. They've got to be a bit more, they've got to take a bit more responsibility with the weather-wise. They could have easily postponed it maybe 20, 30 days when it's peak summer. We've said it time and time again that washouts can really hurt a team. And, it's not even just Pakistan, but the other teams that have just where they could have got 2 points, they've had to settle for 1 point. So it's something I think through our medium, if we can advocate this or sort of let them know that they've got to prepare the fixtures better in the time where it's peak season, where rain doesn't decide
Yeah,
who goes in the top 8.
true. That's true
समय
because
काफी
the
important
schedule
है.
is
Yes, Sam.
already out well in advance. Well in advance. So I think ICC should be aware, correctly pointed out, and I hope ICC in future will have this in mind, and never keep a match or a tournament, especially ICC tournaments like T20, or take the ODIs also, One Day World Cup. You know, don't keep fixtures where you are expecting the rain to be coming down at that moment when the matches are there. So I think
Just
that one
just
thing I see.
just for example, David, by India hosted the World Cup when their peak domestic season was on. Just
Absolutely.
to make
Yes.
sure that there is the rain doesn't play spoil sport. Even though some places during warm up it's so that happened, but
Yeah.
if an India team or a country like India can make sure they host a big tournament and they give that importance to that tournament where they play it in their peak season, I think
Exactly.
ICC should draw a leaf from that.
Absolutely.
यस. लास्ट क्वेश्चन एक्चुअली, आप सनोल, मैं आपसे पूछना चाहूँगी, या तन्मय अगर आप कुछ ऐड ऑन करना चाहें तो बताइएगा प्लीज़. हमने ये बात करी कि 5 कौन सी टीम्स हैं जो ऊपर पहुँच चुकी हैं टॉप 8 में. अगर 3 टीम्स को आपको चूज़ करना हो तो आप कौन से 3 टीमों को चूज़ करेंगे उनकी परफॉर्मेंस के बेस पे कि जो आगे टॉप 3 में जा सकती हैं? मतलब टॉप 8 टोटल कंप्लीट करने के लिए 3 और टीम्स की ज़रूरत है, तो 3 कौन हो सकते हैं?
I go first.
यस
You
प्लीज
go,
तन्मय.
you go, Tanmay.
See, David Bhai is an India player, so he is going to back the strong associate nations. I am an associate player, तो मुझे तीनों टीम associates के ही चाहिए, और obviously one of them hopefully. It's important because from an associate point of view and a general cricket point of view, we don't get a lot of fixtures. Now especially with the sort of money that has been pumped in with TV rights and all these things and private leagues, somewhere down the line, associates keep getting pushed down the order. So a tournament like this has a lot of meaning for associate cricketers. So from that point of view, I'd like to see out of 3 spots at least 2, hopefully deservingly associate playing nations in the top 8.
Even I
राइट.
would
नो.
love to, because even I would love to see some associate teams coming into the top 8, because it will. There are two things which I can say. It will help them financially. The board will be helped financially. ICC will start sponsoring them. They will get more opportunities to play against good nations. Okay, once they qualify, that recognition comes into play. For example, take US as an example. Once they qualify into the Super 8, they can go around playing with other teams like Afghanistan, Ireland, or you take come to India, play a series with India A. Or so what happens is your revenue starts building. The US Cricket Board will start, money starts coming into them, and that will help a cause to all these players who are, not financially. Yes, US, they are working, they make a living out of it. At least this will be a bonus to them as a package in their life. They can. So I think this is a great idea. What Tanmay said, 2 teams at least should qualify from associate members, so that they will be recognized, and a lot of series will be taking place in their own country and abroad too.
Another reason for me to echo this point is in 2003, Kenya played semi-finals in the World Cup. And
Yes.
after that, we never played. We thought we'll be the next test team playing nation. My dream was to be a test cricketer, but it did not happen because of lack of a lot of things. It's just not the support from the ICC. My point is that because I've suffered, my dream was to play test cricket. It didn't happen. I honestly thought I was 15, 16, 17 years old when 2003 World Cup happened, and I thought, okay, Kenya has gone to the semi-finals. Now we might get test status. Now we might get bigger teams coming to play. But it all fell apart for us. So I hope, what Kenya went through as a nation, I hope teams that are doing well in this World Cup, they don't go through that. Ireland has already got test status. Afghanistan has got. Hopefully, US can be the next best thing. So I hope from that point of view, because if you get test status, then whether you like it or not, you will have testing playing nations, big testing playing nations coming to your country to play. So that adds a bit of flavor and it motivates you, you know, for larger things, in the larger scheme of things.
Right, Tanmay. Noel, any last point you want to add on to this?
Yeah, no, because why we are emphasizing on this is because the superior teams will automatically qualify. Yes, England is struggling, Pakistan is on the verge, New Zealand is gone. So that's all a surprise. But they are established countries. They are test nations which are well experienced. They have a lot of this. But for the future, if you want cricket to grow in other countries, especially in associate member countries, I think this is the best way. Have a lot of series happening in on and off from vice versa, so that they can get the experience. So that's it's sad to as Kenya. Yes, it's surprising that Kenya has wiped out their cricketing this thing. They were a very good side, but unfortunately, due to some reasons, it went. I hope US will climb in that stages and become a test nation in near future. That's what we all want, because like if you Tanmay, like we have here in India, the eastern region, this thing, a lot of Sikkim, Meghalaya, like you have played. All these guys got an opportunity. They have become Ranji Trophy cricketers. All right. So I think the opportunities are being given to them also to become first class cricketers. You meet, you compete with other state teams. So like that, if USA and other this is given, I think we will see a good teams in near future from associate countries.
राइट राइट नोल एंड तन्मय, आज लगता है इस वाले एपिसोड में हमने टीम्स के अलावा भी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट चीज़ें डिस्कस करी, एंड विच वॉज वे टू इम्पॉर्टेंट कि पता लगना कि आईसीसी कहाँ कहाँ गलत कर रहा है, या एसोसिएट टीम्स को किस तरीके के और आगे मौके मिलने चाहिए और आगे उन्हें भी मौका देना चाहिए आगे बढ़ने का और खेलने का दोबारा। इन पॉइंट्स के साथ आपने आज के एपिसोड को और ज़्यादा स्पेशल बना दिया, एंड Tanmay and Noel, I'm really thankful to you, both of you, for being a part of this program and sharing all the important pointers actually, which needs to be taken care by ICC also and the other teams as well. So thank you for sharing all the information. Cricket Predictor powered by 1x Bat. Thank you very much for being a part of this program. Thank you, Tanmay.
Thank
Thank
you,
you, Noel.
Dominic.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Amin. See you.